Good morning. On the Sunday before Lent, the readings are Matthew 17, 1-9 and Exodus 24, 12 to the end. The traditional site of the Transfiguration is Mount Tabor, a large round hill in Galilee. Although we don't know for sure whether this was indeed the place where it happened, it would fit, as it's less remote and more accessible than other hills. Whatever the accuracy of the site, it is still a wonderful place that pilgrims seem to favor, with stunning views of Galilee. It has also been said that a lot of praying goes on during taxi rides up the road of Mount Tabor because of the narrowness of this road and the speed of the drivers. But that's by the by. In any case, Matthew, Mark, and Luke all record the Transfiguration, not because of the views, of course. There was something so extraordinary in the event, something so totally unexpected that many people have found it difficult to believe. I would agree with many scholars, however, that it is also totally believable, what with Peter's blurting out about making 3 booths, there and then, one for Jesus, one each for Moses and Elijah, who appeared with him. It's not even the only recorded event of a similar kind in which people were close to God in prayer. But there is, of course, something unique in this particular moment when Jesus' own appearance changed in front of Peter, James, and John. His face shone like the sun, it says, and his clothes became dazzling white. And then, as at his baptism, God's voice said, "This is my Son, the Beloved. With him I am well pleased. Listen to him." No wonder that the disciples fell to the ground and were overcome by fear. Hearing God's voice is certainly an experience. And the reason why God spoke audibly to the disciples becomes clear when we look at what had happened before and at the context of what was to follow. Firstly, this event happened after Peter's confession that Jesus was the Messiah and his subsequent challenge of Jesus, which led to Jesus' rebuke of Peter. It was in the context of Jesus preparing the disciples for the crucifixion and telling them about taking up the cross and losing one's life for his sake in order to find it. The Transfiguration and God's words of affirmation served as a crucial moment, I think, both for the disciples' sake and to strengthen Jesus' authority with them. Perhaps because the disciples were not able to truly listen otherwise. It also serves as a contrast to the crucifixion when it comes. Here on Mount Tabor, Jesus has Moses and Elijah on either side, 2 heroes representing the law and the prophets. There on Golgotha, he is flanked by 2 criminals. Both the highs and lows of humanity, the past and the future combined and speaking to each other, so as to reveal the glory of God in the suffering servant Jesus. Both Moses and Elijah had met God in extraordinary ways that were terrifying in their depth of the most awesome power, beauty, and love. The Transfiguration explains in a way the Golgotha crucifixion and vice versa. It may surprise us to see joy and pain so closely together, but then again, laughter and tears so often do. For us now, it is a reminder that our God is all-powerful, all-beautiful, all-loving, and all-glorious forever. As in previous generations, the Church today is called to walk with the Lord, to journey on the path to the cross. She is vulnerable and often suffering, but she is also sustained by her risen Lord and given power by his Spirit to persevere and to shine victorious. As Peter writes in his first letter, chapter 1, "He was destined before the foundation of the world, but was revealed at the end of the ages for our sake. Through him you have come to trust in God, who raised him from the dead and gave him glory, so that your faith and hope are set on God." And, referring to the Transfiguration in his second letter, Peter writes, "You will do well to be attentive to this, as to a lamp shining in a dark place, until the day dawns and the morning star rises in your hearts." The Transfiguration encourages us to hear, Jesus is not just a prophet, he is God's Son, the Messiah. And if we want to find the way, we have to listen to him. Amen.